Welcome back. We are nearing 180 days of fighting in the Israel-Hamas war, and the humanitarian crisis is immense. But security for those in the area helping with essentials is in question following a deadly attack. 7 World Central Kitchen aid workers were killed when their convoy was hit by an Israeli airstrike. And this is what's left of the vehicle. It had just left a warehouse with 100 tons of food and had coordinated its movement with the Israeli Defense Force. The CEO of Save the Children, Yanti Suripto, calls it a tragedy. She just got back from a 3-day trip to Gaza and spoke with us more about how aid groups move around in war zone areas. She says this process is called a deconflictation mechanism.
So essentially, every aid organization gives coordinates of their convoy, or if you do a distribution like we did, or your offices or your guest houses where your staff are saying, you say, these are the coordinates where we have either work or our guest houses or our offices, and we need them to be avoided. So we give the coordinates, we get the confirmation back, but then still those objects are hit, whether it's a car or an office or a hospital or a health clinic. Frankly, and we've seen all of that happen over the last number of months, and that's where we have seen a lot of these humanitarian workers being killed.
She doesn't know of any other conflicts where humanitarians have been killed in such a short period of time. And while that's the danger aid workers are under, Suripto says that while it's happening to people in Gaza is one of the worst situations she and her colleagues have ever seen.
There are 1 million children there who did nothing to cause this conflict, nothing, and they are absolutely bearing the brunt of it. They are hungry, they're dying, they're being killed in numbers far greater than in any other conflict combined over the last few years, every year, and it has to stop.
Save the Children is working with local partners there to deliver aid to the people, and that includes things like clothes and shoes, which many of the children don't have. During the CEO's time in Gaza, she visited Rafah and also a community, Hera, the water called Deir Abula, and there she said she saw a distribution in Rafah where workers gave out hygiene supplies.
Because if you make them travel somewhere, it's money that they don't have, right? It would essentially, the partner said it would cost them 20 shekels to then go to our warehouse. So what we've done is we've rented a small shop front in that street that was closed otherwise. We put the distribution there, and then we asked the community literally 100 meters away to come.
A distribution like that takes a lot of coordinating, not just with local leaders, but also based on the supplies that are able to get into Gaza and what's safe to do. Suripto also spoke about the living conditions of the people. She took these pictures. One shows a tent that's just plastic over wooden poles, and she says more than 15 people sleep in this area. And take a look at this. She says this is a bathroom area. Something like this would be used for between 700 to 1,000 people. Infectious diseases and lack of hygiene are some of the biggest risks for the people in Gaza.
When we were in Deir al-Balah, we visited that community of 600 people on the beach. They had one toilet. It was essentially a makeshift hole in the ground. All the waste was going onto the beach, but one toilet for 600 people, right? So particularly the women, they were saying, look, we can spend 2 to 3 hours in order to go to the bathroom, and then we spend another 2 or 3 hours to find clean water.
And despite the danger, the harsh conditions, and the devastation, she says she sees resilience among the people.
Give them a plastic bag and they turn it into a kite. The boys ran up to me and said, we'd like to play football on the beach. They were trying to use shells that they found on the beach and turn it into a game. So children will want to play and learn.
She says in addition to the aid Save the Children provides, they're also working with the children on the psychological trauma they're experiencing. She says giving them a safe place to play or talk about their feelings is really helpful, and the nonprofit is hoping to bring in more mental health help.